Russia bombed a TV tower in Ukraine's capital on Tuesday and rained rockets on the city of Kharkiv as Moscow intensified its bombardment of Ukrainian urban areas in a shift of tactics after its six-day invasion stalled. A U.S. official said a miles-long armored column bearing down on the capital Kyiv had not made any advances in the past 24 hours, frozen in place by logistics problems, short on fuel and food, and perhaps pausing to reassess tactics. Russia's defense ministry urged Kyiv residents to flee and said it would strike unspecified areas used by Ukraine's security services and communications. Speaking in a heavily guarded government compound in Kyiv, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia must first stop bombing people before peace talks could make any headway. Zelensky, who also spoke by phone for 30 minutes with U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday, Biden and Zelensky discussed how Russia had intensified attacks on sites used by civilians. The White House said, "The U.S. President is expected to highlight Western unity over Ukraine in his State of the Union address later on Tuesday." President Vladimir Putin has drawn global condemnation and sanctions that have already sent the ruble into free fall and forced Russians to queue outside banks for their savings. The West has imposed heavy sanctions on Russia to shut off its economy from the global financial system, pushing international companies to halt sales, cut ties, and dump tens of billions of dollars worth of investments. But nearly a week since Russian troops poured over the border, they have not captured a single major Ukrainian city after running into far fiercer resistance than they expected. Many Western military analysts fear that Russia will now fall back on tactics which call for crushing bombardment of built-up areas before trying to enter them. The Russians have been surprised not only by the scale of Ukrainian resistance but also by poor morale among their own forces, some of whom surrendered without a fight, the official said. Without providing evidence, Russia still has more forces to throw into the fight, though Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu said the special military operation would continue until it had achieved its goals, defined by Putin as disarming Ukraine and capturing the neo-Nazis he says are running the country. Human rights groups and Ukraine's ambassador to the United States have accused Russia of using cluster bombs and vacuum bombs, weapons condemned by many organizations. Moscow denies targeting civilians. Munitions experts who reviewed footage on social media of attacks on Monday said Kharkiv appeared to have been targeted by cluster bombs. High-rise buildings, schools, and kindergartens were among the buildings destroyed in those strikes, Interfax Ukraine reported, citing Ukraine's defense ministry. In the south, Russia claimed to have completely encircled Ukraine's Azov Sea coast. If confirmed, that would mean Russian forces invading from Crimea had joined up with separatists in the east and had cut off Ukraine's main eastern port, Mariupol. Zelensky said Kyiv remained the main target. Some Kyiv residents have been sheltering in underground metro stations at night. There are long lines for fuel, and some products are running out in shops. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told a Geneva disarmament meeting via video link that Ukraine had been seeking nuclear weapons. He did not provide evidence other than saying Ukraine still has Soviet nuclear technologies and the means of delivery of such weapons. More than 100 diplomats walked out of the hall in protest as his speech began, underlining Russia's international isolation. Ukraine's general staff said Russian losses included 5,710 personnel, 29 destroyed and damaged aircraft, and 198 tanks, all figures that could not be verified. Russia has given no full account of its battlefield losses.